Welcome y'all, this is Tommy Lackey, and in this video I'm going to try to cover some of the power stock setups that I found this weekend in my review. These are going to come from all over the place. I went ahead and marked them in my trading view, and I'm just going to run down through the charts so we can take a look at as many as possible within 10 minutes. So the first is CPRI. As you can see right here, the daily is right up against the breakout level. Strong this morning to open, and the weekly is in a really nice spot. RSI at 60, just above 60 on both the daily and the weekly, with plenty of room to move. Needs to hold, obviously, this move and continue and get some continuation this week. My next one is CNR. CNR is breaking above kind of a little hidden inverse head and shoulders here. Pattern on the daily. RSI recently moved above the 60 level, and the weekly is trying to move above the 60 level now. This is a building products player. LYV also up here near the breakout level. This was a big surge in the past, pulled back, and now is back up near those highs. Not up into the tail yet or the wick yet, so something we should look at there. LTRX is a smaller name, much smaller, just moving out of a pullback area. EVRI is one that looks like it's got a WA bottom that's basically forming here and trying to break out on the daily. The weekly RSI bull range held at the MA bands, as you can see up there in the chart, and down here it's holding on the RSI level as well after CFG went negative last month. So we want to keep moving down. EB Eventbrite is one that looks like it's breaking out this morning with a little daily flag, as we can see here on the chart. RSI moving above 60, CFG putting in a positive reversal. The weekly is still in a bear range, but trying to move over 50 and MA bands. Obviously, we want to see this kind of continuation before we stop worrying about it, I guess. But against this 1680 level is what you're looking at the moment. SCHW Schwab broke out a couple weeks ago, pulled back, and today is starting to move back above it. RSI up near the 60 level in a bull range, wants to move back above there as well. Weekly has held strong the entire time. ELF trading view's been a little slow for me this morning. It's coming out of a breakout here today, starting the year off strong. RSI in a bull range on both daily and weekly. Neither one of them are heavily overbought. Simple is not up today. Kind of went up and pulled back, but what it's trying to do is hold this breakout level, as you can see here. Weekly chart, there we go. Weekly chart popping in for us. It's trying to hold this previous breakout level last week, and now it's up towards those highs. So a move over probably 42 is something to look for there. RRR, Red Rock Resorts, is one that's up near a kind of an inverse head and shoulder action. It already broke out, and now it's moving back up to challenge these weekly highs. RSI put in a nice positive reversal on the weekly here at these previous November lows. WMK. These are all ones that are right at or near breakout. Some are taking a minute for them to load, so we may move on. Alright, Race was one that looked like it was a failed breakdown. Now it's coming up and consolidating right near those lows. A break over about 260 in this one could get it started again. CDW was one that broke out, I believe, last week. Broke out and then flagged across above those highs. Let's see if this weekly chart comes in for us. CDW chart never came in, so I moved on to AAP. As you can see here, it's pulling back from these highs, but the daily is just under the bull range level. It's still in a bull range, but it's just under that level. When you want to see it move back above 60 as it breaks above this level, if it can't, then we could revisit the lows in that area. And that's all for this list. Let's move on to the next list that I had pulled out. Look at a few names in there. I'm going to sort them by who's already moving this morning. We start here with C&K. Cinmark Holdings basically came hard off the lows today and looking as if it was at the bottom of this higher low scenario. So we really needed to see some action today. Now you just want to see it probably move and then potentially close over that 1761 area. PSX, an energy play, strong move this morning out of this little basing action. CARS, again flagging a little bit last week, now trying to move back above those highs. In the space, which is consumer services and that kind of in the internet area, it's been one of the stronger plays, so something to keep an eye on here. BATRK, this is the Braves. I had to at least take a look at it, but it also looks like it's coming out a little bit of a daily base. Another one we liked in here was OMC, Omicron Group. I know, Omicron Group, not Omicron, sorry. We can see it's right here at this volume shelf on the daily. Weekly is taking a second to come through, yeah, and the daily. So break above here, it would also break this weekly downtrend line. The RSI bull range held on the weekly. The daily has already moved above that area on the last surge or peak. Another one to look at is SJR. Smuckers, it's already kind of moved out, but it's moving out of this very large, I'm sorry, Shaw Communications, not Smuckers, moving out of this very large sideways move after the big gap up here in this previous. So it's kind of moved sideways for quite a while, now starting to try to move again in the bull's favor. Sorry I keep pausing the video a little bit. The trading view's loading a little slow, so I don't want to make you guys wait and just keep talking for no reason. But here's another one, TSQ, Town Square Media. Again, very small name, $223 million company. Very, very low float. So if it's something, it's a nice looking chart, but you got to be real careful. Probably not something that I would actually trade. PERI, a little bit different, has some decent flow. It's also trying to come off of this like basing action here. You still got a bear range on the daily, so I'd still be careful with this one. DNB, this is a chart that has been shaping up pretty well. On the daily, as you can see, it's right up against the top of this previous area and against some lows from back here. So if it can break above this area and this flagging action, could be starting anew with this fresh bull range. New York Times in the space as well. Again, media and entertainment is one that basically needs to get some continuation, which we are not getting today. As you can see, it's getting rejected at the MA bands and at the 60 level. So this needs to move back above these levels for us to be interested at all. If not, you can see a rollover here, and this may come back down into more of a bear range oriented scenario. After showing a lot of strength last year, consumer staples is not really starting the year off great. As we can see over here on the right side, we'll see that you've got Walmart, Costco, BJ's all down. BJ's is one I was looking at that didn't look like it had moved as far. It might be trying to move out of this particular flagging area, but it's trying to roll over today. Now, if we go on down, we can see a few that are trying to perform. Go is one, GO, General Grocery, I believe is the name. Has a flagging or pennant type setup on the weekly, and the daily is already in an RSI bull range after the surge, previous surge, which I believe was an earnings surge. Another one in here that I really liked was Energizer. Energizer looks like it is starting to get a change in character here after a pretty long 4 or 5 month basing action here on the daily. Held the bull range during this last part of it and now moving back higher with the weekly moving, RSI moving over 50. Needs to get through the MA bands here, but it is starting to definitely shape up. Another one that I was looking at was COTY. Again, it's a smaller name, smaller dollar value as well, $8 billion company. But this weekly is starting to shape up here in this bull range and wanting to move out, while the daily went up and hit 80 on the previous surge of earnings and now has come back and starting to work its way back to challenge those highs. Another one that caught my eye here, EPC. EPC is one that's Edge Personal Care Company, another consumer staples, but it's right up against this previous high on the daily. And as you can see, as we look back on the weekly, it looks like a large base starting to try to reverse itself. LVFN, or LFVN, excuse me, said that backwards. as one of the more pullback plays. It looks like it was trying to make a higher low, and then as you can see today, it's starting to get some continuation. Now again, this is a very, very, very small company, 83 million, 29,000 average volume, so you would have to, it would probably not be in my range. The next list we want to go to is some of the consumer discretionary names. 5 was one of the ones, 5 Below. Looks like it tried to move out of this little flagging area today and is now pulling back. Ford is moving very nicely out of its consolidation. GM was on my list as a good reversal play. Lear, LEA, is one a lot of people miss. Strong player in the auto parts segment. And as you can see right here, it's got a really nice pattern on the daily. It was pretty wide, but it's a W, and now it's coming out, trying to come out the top of that, moving in RSI back above 60. The weekly never lost the bull range, and honestly, it could be a big handle here from this larger cup and handle on the weekly. A couple more names in this area. Looked good into the weekend, moving really good this morning. AD&T breaking out of this space as well. Weekly looks like it's got plenty of room if it wants it. We also have LCII is another favorite in the space that looks like it's wanting to get back up towards and challenge the highs. ALV is one that used to be a real popular name. It's kind of come out a little bit, now trying again back up into these highs to where it gapped up and then just lost that, formed a W, and is now trying to go back up towards and challenge the highs. Winnebago, WGO, is our final play that we go here, and you can see this is in a long daily consolidation, but over the last couple weeks it surged, moved sideways for a few days, and now wants to move back over. As you can see here on the weekly, it never lost the bull range in all of this sideways movement we've been seeing on the daily. Okay, one more would be GT. We're over 12 minutes, so I got to get this thing done. GT's been one of the stronger plays in the automobile sector with tires and situations like that. And as you can see here, it's still in a bear range officially, but it's trying to break out of this little flag area back up near this volume zone as well. On the weekly, it never lost the bull range, and this last one really just looked like a deep retest. So if we can continue to move over this kind of downtrend line here, break over maybe 22 and hold, then you're in a situation where I think this could continue for another leg. All right, hope this helps. Remember, with all of these, make sure you make them your own, do your own due diligence, your trade plan, your risk plan, all of that, or make sure you talk with a financial advisor or someone that you're working with if there are any of them that you'd like for them to be looking at for your portfolio. We hope this helps, and hope everybody has a great week.